Now in the final part for this module, let's take a look at how we can give Daisy some data to analyze. We're going to create a very specific type of agent, and this is the pandas data frame agent, which, as the name suggests, utilizes pandas directly so that this agent can work on data frames that we give it access to. We're going to use a dataset from Kaggle, which is of data science salaries for 2023. We can see in command 30 that we're first reading in the CSV file of this dataset and then assigning that to a data frame. Then to create a new version of Daisy, we'll use the create pandas data frame agent. We're going to pass the data frame and we're going to use the OpenAI LLM, but in this case, we're going to specify that temperature equal to 0. We won't go into the details of what temperature is too much in this course, but you can think of it as how much we allow the model to be creative with its responses. Setting the value to 0 means that it has to use effectively just the factual information that's present. This is important when we deal with datasets, as we don't want it to imagine any data that's not there. Let's instantiate Daisy. And now that we have our dataset and Daisy, let's ask Daisy to analyze the data and just look for any interesting trends, making some pretty plots. We can see we're entering a new agent executed chain. And now we can see Daisy looked at the data frame, ran describe on the pandas data frame to get some information about the statistics of this particular data frame. Daisy then does some group bys in order to look at how well each variable is affected and how that affects salary. And now we can see Daisy plotted the company size versus the salary range to have a look at the effect of company size on salary. And based on this, it looks like the medium company sizes offer the highest salaries on average. The output you can see that Daisy said is, I can see that the average salary increases with experience level, is higher for full-time employees than for contract employees, and increases with company size. Now this may all seem quite obvious, but realize that we gave no other information to Daisy other than just the dataset and the ability to run Python code. Now this is pretty impressive already, but we can go a step further and ask Daisy, an AI model, to create a machine learning model on its own. In this situation, we're going to ask Daisy to train a random forest regression model, which is a type of machine learning model that's based on decision trees. For more information, check out the links that we provide, but for now you can just assume that this is some type of classical machine learning model that is not a type of deep learning model. We could ask it to do deep learning, but for the sake of time and computational effort, we're going to use a random forest. We're going to ask Daisy to predict the salary using the most important features, and we're going to ask it to tell us what variables are most influential to the model. Those of you who have done any machine learning in the past can see just how much we're asking Daisy to do with this simple command. We'll run the cell and see how well Daisy does. We can see Daisy has found sklearn and is going to use the random forest regressor from the ensemble library. You can see as well, there's an indentation error in this Python code that Daisy wrote. And Daisy realizes there's an indentation error and that it needs to fix it. Let's see how it goes about doing this. We can see Daisy removed all of the spaces at the start of each of the sentences or lines of code. And so now it can move forward. It sees that it finds an error converting strings to floats and realizes that it needs to convert the string values to numerical values and selects label encoder. I want to stress that we did not lead or direct the LLM to do anything other than just train the model and tell us the variables. Daisy is figuring out how to overcome all of these obstacles on its own. We can see it used the label encoder. It then ran into that indentation error. It fixed the error. And now Daisy sees that it knows the most important features. And it says the most important features for predicting salary using a random forest regressor are work year, experience level, employment type, remote ratio, company location, and company size. Those of you who are familiar with machine learning know just how much effort and knowledge it takes to build something like this, and yet we did this without knowing anything about machine learning, anything about sklearn, anything about feature importance. This is just a taste of what you can do with LLM agents. I hope you're getting excited about what we can build nowadays with these amazing pieces of technology. And if you're wondering, what if this model just isn't quite doing what I need it to do? Let's head over to the next module, module 4, where we look at fine-tuning and evaluating new types of models that we need for our custom uses.